Thanks for tuning in today. Today we're fortunate to have Dr. Joe Moldover with us. Joe, can you tell us a little bit about your background and the work that you currently do?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Thank you for having me. I'm a clinical psychologist, and I specialize in working with children and adolescents with learning and developmental and psychiatric disorders. I have a private practice in Wellesley, Massachusetts, and the bulk of my work is doing evaluations that help to guide treatment planning and educational planning, and I spend a good deal of time trying to help families to work with schools to meet their children's special needs.
So now that students are back in school, what are some of the concerns and the questions that you've been seeing from parents of students who have special needs?
I think that the concerns tend to fall into one of three clusters. There are parents who are asking the question, does my child need help? They're wondering if there's an issue, they're wondering if there's a problem, and they're looking for help answering that question. We've got a second group of parents who know that there's something that they need help with. There's stress, there's anxiety, there's academic difficulty, and they know something's going on, and they're asking the question, what should we do? What is the game plan here? And then the last group of parents actually has a pretty good idea of what to do and has a plan, but is saying, how do we implement this? How do we get everybody on the same page? How do we communicate with the school effectively? And how do we make things happen? And those are really the questions that are coming in at this time of year.
So those are a lot of really important questions. We get some of those questions ourselves as executive function coaches too. So tell me how you're addressing some of these concerns at your practice.
Well, what we've been committed to doing for as long as possible is to try to educate people in the community about neuropsychology, about special education, about evaluations and disability rights. And this fall, we're doing something new in that regard. We're going to be holding our first ever webinar. We're very excited about it. It's coming up on Thursday, October 16th. And I'm going to be presenting with attorney Eileen Haggerty on going back to school for children with special needs.
So what's Eileen Haggerty's background?
Eileen is a fabulous special education attorney. She works at the firm of Coating Crabtree and Strong, and she's very experienced in working with families of children with a diverse range of special needs in helping them to get their needs met in the school system.
So Joe, what do you think parents should expect from attending this webinar?
Well, what our real goal is to give parents very practical advice about how to navigate the special education process. From my point of view, that's going to be trying to help people to understand the process of evaluation and getting a diagnosis and understanding the diagnosis. Eileen is going to be talking about special education law, concepts such as a free and appropriate public education or effective progress in education, and the best ways to navigate the special education system in schools.
I think there's a lot of technical jargon that parents hear, and it sounds kind of scary sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, that's really our main goal, is to kind of demystify some of these different things, to give people the vocabulary, to give people the concepts so that they feel more confident when they're dealing with the people in their children's lives in being able to communicate clearly what's on their mind and understand what's being communicated to them.
Who do you think is going to specifically benefit from this type of information? What ages of children that the parents have would benefit from hearing about this?
Yeah, we're trying to make this as broadly applicable as possible.
Mm.
So I think that this would be useful to parents of kids as young as preschool, all the way up to people who have kids who are no longer kids, who are at college, or who are going through adult transition in some other manner. And we want to make it applicable as well to families dealing with a wide range of disabilities, whether we're talking about learning disabilities, ADHD, autism spectrum disorders, psychiatric disabilities. We really want to make this sort of a toolkit that can be used by a wide variety of folks.
It sounds very comprehensive in nature.
Absolutely.
Is there a fee associated with this?
There is not a fee. It is a free webinar. Um, it's a continuation of something I've been doing for quite some time, where I travel around the state and speak to parent groups and advocacy groups free of charge about neuropsychology and special education. Except this time I get to do it from the comfort of my office.
That's great. So, will parents have an opportunity to ask specific questions?
They will. So the event again is Thursday, October 16th. It's from 7 to 9. The first hour will be Eileen and I talking about what we do, about the concepts that are involved. The second hour is all going to be interactive question and answer. So participants will have the opportunity to post questions and have us respond live online, as well as to request follow-up consultation after the webinar if they would like.
Great. Well, it sounds like a really valuable service that you're providing. It's great that it's free too. I think a lot of parents could benefit from this. So just to wrap up, Thursday, October 16th, 7 to 9 o'clock Eastern Time, Dr. Moldover and attorney Eileen Haggerty will be co-hosting a webinar, Back to School for Students with Special Needs, and they'll be discussing how parents can understand their child's educational needs and to effectively advocate for those needs to be met. Anything else you'd like to add, Joe?
I think you've covered it. We will be recording the webinar, and all participants will be sent a free recorded copy of the webinar the next day. So, I expect that there's going to be a lot of information, but people will have a chance to go back through it and hopefully pull out whatever is the most useful to them.
Oh, that's great. That's a really great feature. I know a lot of people appreciate that too. Well, thanks for joining us today. I know there's a lot of parents of students that we work with as executive function coaches that I have a feeling would be pretty interested in this webinar. So we're going to do our best to get the word out, and I'll bet you're going to get a big response for this.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been fun.
All right, take care. Thanks.